Hi. See, today I will discuss something about the intervention and the crux of the intervention, which is the thought process. The crux of the intervention is the thought process. Organizational interventions are designed to effect this process of thinking. What is thinking? Have you ever thought about it? What is thinking? What is a what is the element of the basic element of thought? Just like in atom, the basic elements are electrons, protons, neutrons. They comprise the atom. So let's say there is a thought, it's a bubble. What are the elements of that thought process? What are the elements? There could be such basic particles in the elements which would be as close or as similar to an electron, proton, or neutron. So, in interventions, we hit at the electron through which we suppose, in scientific terms, if I say we are trying to balance a chemical reaction, such that if we add so many electrons to a particular group of atoms, the following resultant reaction would result in a product which is what the organization is expecting in as a level of sophistication in its applications to the product, to the customers, to the market, and all that. So these elements of the thought process, you could just uh, bring in some similarity with just electrons, protons, and neutrons. These are the inputs, reactions, experiences, collective statements heard, in a meeting, any occurrence. So the first element are the inputs or the reactions which we all the time we get from our natural surroundings. It could be any experience, it could be any collective statement. Somebody has, or in a meeting, we got some statements from someone regarding a particular discussion. So these are the inputs. Then the creation of a the creation of a connecting element to propositions. See, when you have input, then this input needs to be verified. That input needs to be collated, formulated into a form of hypothesis of propositions. Not everything that comes in the uh, thought is concretely accepted. So it forms a proposition. So the next element are the propositions. The propositions that force us to question, to be inquisitive, to know, to inquire, to re-verify, to investigate. These are the propositions. And the last one is coming to the reality of understanding the path, which is after you have gone through several investigations regarding your propositions, then chalking out or be able to find the path to put the framework for which the thought process could be leveraged to come to a level of sophistication that the organization would like to achieve in its product services to its customers and other markets. So in this just a simple explanation, I am trying to make you understand that in my consultancy where I would be able to do successful interventions and show by way of concrete results, findings, verifications that the sophistication related to one's products or services in the organization can be achieved by breaking down or analyzing the thought process, understanding the thought process through way of collection of data, through interviews, through focus group interviews, through one-on-ones, uh, short interviews, data collection using the questionnaires, using mm, some data sheets, small answer type questions that we can use to uh, get to the bottom line of the thought process. Using this data collection service procedure, we can filter down to the elements of the thought process. And once we have filtered down to the elements of thought processes, then we have several inputs from which we can then deduce the propositions. Once those inputs have been categorized, the ones which are the dominant ones can be used to develop the propositions from which we can chalk out by investigation that what would be the correct framework to achieve the level of sophistication in a particular service domain or product domain and satisfy market expectations or overcome or even um, uh, oh, this cross over the expectations. For example, let's take a framework. I'll just what could be a framework once a path has been identified to leverage and come up to the expectation. The framework could be, for example, that for example the service side the service is designing light bulbs of cars. Okay, service of the company is to product of the company is to design the light bulb of cars. So the light bulbs of the cars have to be such of such design that they give maximum output with minimum inputs, so that the battery and all that being used by the bulbs are minimum, and the focus of the light is maximum. So in this kind of a service, which is the framework would be the proposition could be identified, that is, for example, once we have studied the responses of the people, it could be, for example, uh, people or workers, servicemen, or your employees, servicemen must use the concepts of concepts of light and power consumption in a power consumption in and study their applications in diverse situations. For example, this is the proposition that the team which is working on having such ingenious design in the construction of light bulbs for newly upcoming cars, that they must study the topics, theories of light and power consumption in such a manner that they can study their applications, the concepts of light and power together, consumption of light and power, the it can be studied in such a manner that the applications are having there are several situations of applications, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, for different type of situation in which the particular application could be maximum benefit. That could be one proposition from which now we need to investigate that which one will give us the path and the resulting framework to uh, achieve the level of sophistication that will be the expectation of the market. So for that, once you have identified this kind of element, then you have the framework. The framework will be then getting into those theories, those concepts of light and power, uh, developing a study on the pattern of light and consumption of power accompanied with it, and then uh, developing different through experiments, through discussions and other experiments and other lab situations, that which one will be the best application in a particular design of a car, and what will be the uh, mm, satisfaction that we can achieve for the customer with a particular application in a particular situation and design of car. So this is just an example I'm trying to give of the framework. We can do this kind of consultancy to give or help the company achieve this kind of a level of sophistication for their end product or service within the particular market. That is through study, through analysis, through collection of the data, through propositions, then identifying the strongest application of those propositions, and then providing to the management of the organization a framework which I will make, and then make a presentation on that and explain the framework, and then you can see how you can give the concrete results and expectations are achieved. That will be our job, that will be our fulfillment, to help the organization achieve the level of the sophistication they are expecting in the particular market domain or specialization. So that is how we help organizations to achieve their the efficiency through their manpower, through their servicemen, through their employee worker, and management and all that. So hope you have liked this session, and I will discuss some more applications of the framework, uh, which are for part of the uh, intervention impacting the thought process to achieve a particular level. So hope you have liked it, and for consultancy I'll just mention in the description box our email ID so that you can contact us.